Alright, pproteus here, back for round number 6 with Hexproof, playing against Methodical. Nobody ever has any idea what Methodical is on. And I'm going to keep this hand, so I've got 2 mana, enough to cast any spell in my hand. I've got white mana, I got a creature. I don't have a payoff. So especially if they're playing a deck with a bunch of ground creatures, I could kind of get stuck. But I think this hand is good enough. And we do have 2 draws. This is going to cycle, this is going to cycle. And hopefully we can hit something functional off one of those. Also, I'm hoping that this is not a daze. Oh, never mind. I will be happy to run this into daze. No daze, okay. Then I'm going to start thinking about Electrickery maybe. They got planes. Is this just Bully or something like that? Seeker of the Way. Alright, this is Bully. This is just Bully. So we're gonna have to figure out how to deal with that. Let's go with the creatures. Let's go Spider Umbra into Rancor. And we will trade Spider Umbra for the Seeker. This opponent prowessing their way past me is going to be very frustrating. Would like to disguise this relic for a little bit. Maybe catch a Strands Unaware. So playing against, I call it Bully. I think that name is kind of catchy, even though it's not at all descriptive. Boros, tempo, I suppose, with the Rally of the Peasants, Squadron Hawks. And this dude matches up kind of poorly against some of the removal spells in the format, but if you don't have a removal spell, it is a really powerful 2-drop. And I do not have a removal spell. So I am going to be beaten down by this, and it's going to be very frustrating for me. They discard a Strands. That's important. If they don't attack, or if they leave something back that can reasonably block the Glade Cover Scout, then I do not want to just let my opponent have their way. I'm going to have to preemptively Relic. Because if I attack, basically what they do is they block, they Strands, they gain the life. So let's just do the Relic first. Let's do this first. Opponent can cast Strands in response if they want, but that's not the worst thing. Could be worse than that. Gonna draw my card. It's nothing. So they did cast Strands and chose green, so there's no point in attacking. Might as well leave it back and prevent some of the more annoying attacks by my opponent. I'm not going to block if they might have Strands. But if I know they don't have Strands, I'm going to consider blocking. Depending on what the thing is that they do. Firebolt is pretty aggressive. They could have Electrickery though, and that makes me worry. I worry they have main deck Electrickery. This is a lot of life gain there. And a lot of damage to my face, and I don't like it when my face takes damage. I think I'm supposed to block. If they have Trickery, I've got enough creatures. It's more them having creatures that's an issue. Okay. So opponent has played their own creature, Sacred Cat. We are going to go Vestige into Pilgrim. Use that ability. What do I want to get? Could get an Armadillo Cloak. That might save me from falling behind. The obvious pick is like Ancestral Mask, but even that's not that great. I think what I want to get is give my creature first strike, and I want to do it for a minimum of mana. So I'm just going to fetch Ethereal Armor and pass the turn. If my opponent attacks, I'm going to be afraid of Rally, and I will block the cat with the Heliod's Pilgrim. And so very convenient for me that they chose to Firebolt my face, because now they can't efficiently deal with the Pilgrim. Opponent does not attack with the cat, so I guess no rally is happening. And now I'm mostly hoping I don't die here. I've been distinctly not f6ing because my opponent knows I like to play interesting card choices, and I would want them to respect me having mutagenic growth if the thought of that crosses their head. It's this like next level play, but once in a while that kind of stuff pays off. Once in a while. Opponent's at 25. We're casting a Thorough Armor. We're casting Rancor. Cast a Bogle. And I think I attack, because I am going to die kind of quickly if my opponent has a... If I just do nothing. So I've got to get myself out there, and... Yeah, I guess if I knew I was drawing a forest, I probably would have taken a cloak or a mask. But I did not know I was going to draw a forest. Did not know I was going to have the mana I needed to cast a 3-drop plus abundant growth that turn. What do I do if they hold up strands? I'll probably just... Okay, so I was thinking about doing a complicated bluff, but I don't know. Abundant growth makes it hard to bluff by choosing color mana. I'm still gonna do the complicated bluff. I'm gonna bluff Flaring Pain. Not choosing red. See if my opponent respects that at all. Rally doesn't save their guy. Or not. Yeah, no. Rally doesn't kill my guy. Rather, does save their guy. They get to gain a bunch of life off of this, but they had to commit to playing the guy, to playing the strands. So I'm pretty good with that. Have to get the strands out of their hand, otherwise I can't win. I suppose I could start piling things on the Heliod's program, but then that's just asking to get hit by Journey to Nowhere. So that's more of a line to take in post-board games, or if I get really desperate. In this match, in this game, that's unlikely to come up, I think. I actually don't have much experience playing this particular matchup, because ever since I started playing this deck again, I've just been totally fading the bully opponent, and then the bully players have become less and less popular. I insist that bully is the better deck, but some people disagree with me, and Boros Monarch certainly is no slouch. But anyways, let's see what's coming up. Opponent casts Lightning Axe, discard Battle Screech. Target my Pilgrim? Yeah. Cast the Squadron Hawk. They are going to get to strands. Yeah, that is pretty good. I guess we're dead to rally. I'm gonna block this because I don't want to be dead to like a firebolt. Come on, deck. Oh, come on, deck. You can do better than that. I'm gonna attack, but my opponent is probably just not casting strands here, and then they're probably just dead. We have failed to deal a reasonable amount of damage in a reasonable amount of time. So I guess you get there sometimes, even in game one. I don't like losing game ones. I'm supposed to win by surprise. My opponent has things like Lightning Axe in their deck. Very hard to use Lightning Axe effectively in this matchup, but I gave them a target and they hit it. So they had rally and we died. That is kind of what happens. So that said, let's figure out how to sideboard. if this were Boros Monarch, I think I've got that plan kind of laid out. I think I cut Armadillo Cloaks. And in general, I want 2 Flaring Pains, 1 Natural State, maybe a Cartouche for Standard Bearers. Since Bully has a lot more of strands than Monarch does, I think I actually want an additional Flaring Pain. And since they don't actually have the artifact lands, I probably just don't want the Natural State. Natural State is good against Leave No Trace, though. It's kind of a head where in response I catch that, but then I could just do Dispel if that's the thing I'm worried about. So maybe that Dispel should come in. And sideboarding out. Probably Pilgrim. Pilgrim did not pull its weight there. It got me a thing, but anything I picked would have been too slow. Let's try that. I was liking the Dispel in the previous game, so let's play with it and see what happens. Kind of it's mostly hedge against Leave No Trace, but if I can manage to snag a Strands, then maybe it'll be an extra Flaring Pain. But if I don't need the extra Flaring Pain, then it can be more flexible. So let's try this. I have no idea what's in my opponent's sideboard, first of all, because Pathonical is not tend to be a player of stock decks, so I'm not even going to bother to try. I've not seen them playing Bully before. No idea. They could have Standard Bearer. We're probably just going to die if they have Standard Bearer. But Cartouche's strength is really just not very good, or Gotcha even. They're not really good against Standard Bearer because they're damage based and they have all those strands. So I think damage based removal is just not going to work. Mutagenic is one thing that's possible. Might be bringing this in when I'm on the draw. On the play, I can usually get my guys out of range in time, but not here. And sorry, that's for Electricity, where I want to. I'm worried about my opponent casting Electricity on turn 2. Unfortunately, I have this 2-mana creature here, which is fairly awkward. So I want to use my mana. So I'm gonna have to choose green and play the Vestige on turn 1 so that I can get the Abundant Growth on the Vestige. Let my opponent make the play. Oh, that's even more awkward that they played this clue, because now they're going to be incentivized to if they don't have a 2-mana play, which often this deck does not, they're going to be incentivized to pass the turn with 2 mana up, and then if they have Electricity, they just crush me. And that is not Electricity. So maybe I'm not getting crushed. Maybe this is winnable. I draw 2 Squadron Hawks. Interesting they don't find the third, but sometimes you're forced to discard to hand size, so I can understand the hedging. Got a Flaring Pain, that's going to be really important. And what do I do now? So we deal slightly less damage if we put the mask on. If we don't put the mask on, rather, but I'm expecting my opponent to chump if we don't do that. So I think I'm getting more damage in by making sure that my guy is trampling. You get in for 6, pass the turn. Next turn, mask is going to give plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's going to be just short of lethal. So if my opponent taps out and I draw a 1-mana card, then I probably win. Not 1-mana card, a 1-mana aura. I tap out and I draw a 1-mana aura, I probably win. I think now we probably win anyways, because they can't kill us unless they have enchantment removal. They could always have Aura Flux or Aura Fracture. It's a common bully card. I think we got him here. Choose blue, 1, 2. I shouldn't have chosen blue. What do I want to do? Does it matter? Play another Vestige. Choose black. Because this is lethal, and it would have been exactly lethal even if my opponent had not attacked with the Hawk. Okay, that was a close one, but we managed. I think it was a close one. Maybe my opponent is just holding their hand of cards that do nothing, but I feel like versus a deck that can play things like Aura Fracture, maybe my opponent just got unlucky and didn't have a third untapped land and had the Aura Fracture in their hand, and in that case this was definitely a close one. So I think I like my sideboarding. There is the benefit of Electricity, which can in some scenarios to kill a bunch of birds like that, but I don't think that's really what I wanted to be doing there. Kind of want Mutagenic, but I don't know what's in my opponent's deck, so it's hard to say if I want it or not. But let's try it. Let's bring in Mutagenic, cut the last cloak. I'm afraid of Leave No Trace, and I'm afraid of Electricity. Again, that's why the Mutagenic Growth is coming in. So if they go turn 1 something, turn 1 Tharbin Inspector, I go turn 1 Bogle, they go turn 2 hold up 2 mana. Here you go, pproteus, play your creature, please, please, please. And I don't have to run into it. Looking at a new hand, we have a creature, we have 2 colors of mana, and we have payoff. So we're keeping this hand. It's obviously got some issues, but I'm not going to mulligan. Not going to mulligan a hand that does these things. What mulligans to 5. Not sure if they're mulliganing aggressively because they really just want to find something that deals with my cards, or if they are doing it because they are just stuck. Hard to tell. The reason I'm not playing the creature this turn is I want to tempt my opponent into not casting Electricity, or not holding up Electricity, rather. Because I want to make sure, because I don't have the Mutagenic Growth in my hand, I want to make sure that kind of punish does not happen to me. Okay, so we're going to go green, white, cast Ethereal Armor. Do I want to cast a second Ethereal Armor, or do I want Abundant Growth? Annoying I don't have a Trample Aura. Maybe that cloak should be here. Should be in my deck. If I draw the Mutagenic and instead wish I had a Trample Aura, I'm going to feel dumb. But I suppose it could be worse. Opponent casts, just flashes back the Faithless Looting. So if we had done this the other way, if we had gone turn 1, Forest Glade Cover Scout, then we could have gone turn 2, like Vestige, make green, Utopia Sprawl, and then tap this for 2, and then 1 Ethereal Armor plus the Abundant Growth. I guess that wouldn't be the worst. Opponent put Battle Screech in their graveyard, but no Strands. So, Bogle. Attack. So perhaps it would have been right to play the Scout on turn 1. But the downside is really big, and that's why I didn't do it. I'm just a little bit too scared. Really need a Rancor here. If I draw a Rancor, I think I just win. At least my opponent is not really getting anywhere. They're gonna have to chump indefinitely. It's really awkward how my lands are arranged, where I have to basically spend 3 mana to cast Flaring Pain, as is. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I put the Abundant Growth over here. This gets me around that Flaring Pain problem. Now this land can cast Flaring Pain. Let's put Ethereal Armor on this Bogle and play another creature. And attack, and opponent has to jump, and they go to 4. Now I have 2 lethal creatures on the board. Unless my opponent can kill my auras, I think I win. At least with the Flaring Pain. Even if they hold up. Oh boy, oh boy. I'm just worried they're going to go Aura Fracture, and then I lose. Okay, Seeker's a good card. Squadron Hawk is less good. Just need a Ranker. Come on, deck. Give me a Ranker. Very ironic that I said I didn't need the... I said I didn't need the Armadillo Cloak, and now Armadillo Cloak would literally win me the game. I drew a Ledgewalker. Alright, so do I die to Rally? If my opponent goes Rally plus Flashback, I guess I can force 2 chumps, and then this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then so I can chump the 13, 14, I can chump the Seeker, or even if I don't, the Seeker is going to have an extra 4, that should put me to 2. I should actually be alive. Okay, didn't draw it. Next. Need that Ranker. Ranker and I win. Opponent's at 4. I also have more creatures than them at this point. They do have a Looting. Faithless Looting will get them somewhere, I imagine. But they can't just chump block with 2 creatures a turn for very long. They're going to need to have something powerful to go along with it. Okay, Faithless Looting, that's step 1. I'm hoping my opponent will go for an aggressive line that prioritizes strands, but I don't think they have a strands. I think they would have done that already unless they really have the read on my Flaring Pain. They could. I gave them... I mean, they know what my deck list was like last week, and my deck is very similar. I made a couple. I think I changed 2 cards on my board since last week. I had the blue cards. So they certainly suspect I have 3 Flaring Pain on my sideboard. What's going on over there, opponent? Secret Lifeline is good. It's relevant. I'm going to have to decide whether or not I should chump it if it attacks. Like, if it attacks just for 3, if I should chump that. Because if my opponent has Electrickery plus Rally, then there are ways this could go wrong. My opponent discards Electrickery. That does not look like the action of somebody who has Electrickery. Okay, noted. Oh, never mind. Electrickery is happening. They just had 2. Okay, I can live with that. And their last card in their hand is Squadron Hawk, so I'm not going to die to something stupid. Just need a Ranker. Just need a Ranker. Come on, deck. Give me the Ranker. Unbridled Growth. Ranker. If they draw Rally and attack with these, Rally plus Flashback, they're dealing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I'm not dead. But this is annoying because if they draw strands, then they could go 1 chump block. They can take this because they're at 8. Oh, maybe this Bogle should have stayed back. because they're at 8. Because I might die to strands. But I think it's a difference. I think it makes a difference of having them at 1. I didn't make the count for whether I would die to rally if they attack with the Thriving Inspector, though I should have thought about that. Firebolt my face? Oh boy. Firebolt my face plus rally is that game? So I'm at 13. They need 8 more damage. Rally would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 damage. If I counted right. No rally. There's a Thriving Inspector. Come on, deck. Just give me a Rancor. Just this once. And there's the Rancor. Ah, I can breathe again. I can breathe. That was a real freaking close game. Good game, Methodical. That wasn't the best draw here, but you did well with it. I'm now 5-1. Next round, round 7, that's the last round of the Swiss. And if I win, I'm locked for top 8. So I will see you there.